Welcome back into another episode of the podcast. We are at you with episode 3. This is another filler episode as I'm waiting on Cam and me to be able to record his podcast. That should hopefully be coming out next week. So fingers crossed for that one. But today I'm here with Wubzington,
What up?
and we're gonna talk through some Pokemon games. We're just gonna go through the generations, talk about our favorites, some moments, and little things like that. And we'll rate each generation, say how much we played it, stuff like that.
Go for it.
All right, let's move into Generation One. I'm gonna start with your overall thoughts on it.
I think Gen 1 is exactly what it needs to be. It is the beginning, and the designs are basic, and the region is boring.
You don't have any attachment or anything special you hold about it being the first.
I mean, like, they're Gen 1 mons, so, like, they're recognizable. The anime was good. Well, I mean, good is a strong word. It was enjoyable.
It's not good.
No,
What's wrong with the anime?
it's a kid's show. So trying to watch it as a somebody in your mid-20s is a little hard sometimes.
Does it hold up? Fairly Odd Parents was a kid show. You probably still like it.
Yeah, but Fairly Odd Parents is different. Witch Hartman is like a strange man.
He's a strange man.
Yeah.
That's fair. My opinions on it are probably more neutral to positive about it than you. But it's like
Yeah.
as somebody who doesn't play a lot of Pokemon games, I like Gen 1 just because it was just like the original. If it didn't exist, you wouldn't have Gen 9 or like other good regions like that. So it's one of
Mm,
those things that it was the building block, so I respect it and I do appreciate it more than I'd appreciate other ones.
it was the building blocks that eventually crumbled and burned, made Gen 9.
So as you see, we're excited to eventually get the Gen 9 farther along. But when was your first playthrough of Gen 1? Do you remember? And what it was like?
Um, I got Fire Red in like 2004 or 2005, and like I played it and it was cool, I guess. I don't even think I beat it because I was so young. But like, just from what I remember, it was just like less fun Ruby to me. And then we got Red, Blue, and Yellow for whatever reason, and those games are just not playable in a modern era.
I mean, they got good graphics.
They have good graphics for a like TI-84 calculator.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, would you rather play Gen 1 or Gen 9?
God.
Honestly, which one?
This is like actually a really hard question because Gen 1 is like literally unplayable, but it's funny because of just like how the mechanics work.
Like, Plunk is what makes it so interesting.
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna go balls to the wall and say Gen 1.
I'm gonna be realistic and say Gen 9 just because there's more content you can do and you can spend more time.
Is there? Well, yes, there is.
Yeah, there is. It's open world and the gym's almost level scale.
It is not open world. It is bad.
Hey, the like we said beforehand, the gym scale if you go in the correct order.
It's not scaling.
But
Whatever, we'll get to Gen 9 eventually.
we'll get there eventually. But my looks at Gen 1, at least for playing it. Okay, my only official playing of Gen 1 was Virtual System on the 3DS.
I
And well before
think that was my first time finishing Yellow.
really,
Yeah.
I think I bought Red and then I also bought Crystal
Crystal's good.
just so I could have both of them. I bought Crystal just so I could get the Celebi, I think,
Oh,
for the future. I haven't played it yet, but I mean it's still sitting there on my 3DS. But my first like Kanto experience was when I was really little, my stepbrother had gotten me Fire Red, like a mod of it on my iPod. And
oh yeah.
a ROM of it, and that was my first like true Pokemon experience. I think actually it might have been around the time I had my DS, but that was like my first Gen 1.
I remember GBA for iOS.
Is that stuff all gone now?
No, they actually somehow got it on the App Store, so you can like actually download it instead of like doing that weird online.
We had to go to some weird website for it.
Yeah, it was really
It
weird.
was really sketchy. I did not know what was going on.
Now it's just on the App Store.
It's so much easier and nicer about it, but yeah, I barely remember. The one thing I remember is I had a Charizard and I named him after a YouTuber I watched, one of his dogs in Minecraft.
Which YouTuber?
Stampy.
Damn, I don't know that person.
Stampy Longnose.
Don't know that person at all.
How do you he's an old I guess well you are like 10 years older than me, so I guess
Not true. Incorrect. Loud incorrect buzzer.
I'm like halfway you're like halfway there.
Are you 20 or 21?
I'm 20.
Okay. Imagine not being able to drink alcohol.
I'll be 21 eventually. I don't need it, Wubs.
I actually drank a lot yesterday. I don't typically drink. I just kind of like, I was invited to drink, and I was like, I guess.
That's fair. Well, anyway, you've never heard of Stampy, but he played Minecraft on the Xbox 360 version, and he just played
Oh,
in his
hell yeah.
he played in his Minecraft survival world, and he like it just started off as a normal Let's Play, and then he started like adding like some elements of role play into it, where he had like a villain, and which was one of his friends and stuff like that.
Wow. Billy.
And he did it for like 10 years, and he just ended it like a year or two ago. He did it for like 700 episodes or something.
700?
I think. What am I off? 823 was the last one.
Stampy, I was not familiar with your game, I guess. That's
I mean, he has 11. He has 10.9 million subscribers on YouTube. And I recently had he put his world on the Bedrock Play Store, so I bought it and got to like go through it for the first time in a long time. But anyway, one of his dogs, I named my Charizard after it. And in one of the last episodes of his World Series, that dog died, and I was sad.
what?
So I haven't finished it. You know, he had so many dogs die throughout it, canonically.
Dang. I have a bird in my Minecraft world named Grover Cleveland.
Nice.
I never like got dogs. I would get birds, and I would get like mostly just birds.
I had a survival world where I got all four of my dogs I had. Now only one of them's alive, so I don't open the world anymore.
I have a horse named Usain Colt. Um,
So you've always been like that with your naming?
oh yeah, I like doing that with names. Um, I had there's the obvious. I have the sheep named Calvin Woolidge.
You and Splop would be really similar with your guys' things.
I just like that Blob names it stupid shit.
It's so funny. Like I just loved it. They're so good this season.
It was like Chinese dynasty leaders and then Tony Soprano.
Which is it's valid. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's not. It's significantly funnier than committing to the theme.
Yeah, no, I mean I feel like honestly everybody should just have just like that one mon that makes no sense with it. But anyway, we got heavily distracted back into Gen 1.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I never officially played it until I got on my 3DS.
Uh,
And then I tried getting Mew and I just couldn't catch it, so then I gave up.
oh, like the glitch.
Yeah, the glitch one.
I did that, and I fucked up so many times, and I kept getting Nido,
Really?
so I stopped trying.
You know, I just couldn't catch it. No, because I kept getting
Oh,
I kept getting the Mew to appear, but the problem is it's so hard to catch with the normal Pokeball that I'd run out Pokeballs every time, and then you'd have to reset up the glitch. And so then end up there's no save states on the 3DS, so
yeah, that'll do it.
yeah, I need to play Pokemon games. I just don't.
We're gonna make you play through a Nuzlocke on a stream.
That actually sounds like a fun idea because I know Pokemon.
Like we'll probably do like a platinum or an emerald Nuzlocke.
That is not gonna go well, but it would probably be entertaining for everybody to watch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, speaking of live streams, Wubs, we have many live stream projects we need to do.
Yeah, I've put in so many man hours that have yet to be seen.
Um, we if you want to do one this week, I can.
Sure.
You free tomorrow?
Probably not tomorrow. It's
Oh, are you smashing?
no, it's my last day of something that I've been doing. and I have to do that until noon, and then I'm
Are you drinking again?
drinking
I was
again.
about to say you're just drinking.
Oh, Mario! I mean, not Mario. I'm not playing Sunshine. Um,
You get 11 minutes. That's pretty good.
oh shit! Oh no! Ah! No! I forgot I was supposed to go there. Nah! Okay.
But looping back to Gen 1 yet again, um, I feel like it's fun. I always watch people play through it and stuff. I just appreciate the ambiance of it and just the simpler times. I mean, I wasn't even alive when the game came out.
I wasn't either, believe it or not.
You basically were.
Was I?
Basically.
I think 1996 and 1999 are vastly.
Didn't it come out in 98 in the US? And then 96 in Japan?
I think it was 97.
Oh, because I remember there's a big gap between it. But anyway, if you were to rate Gen 1 on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best game ever, 1 being Gen 9, what would you rate it on?
So red, blue, yellow, I would give like a 4 out of 10. Heart or not heart gold, fire red, leaf green, I would give like a 6.5 out of 10, maybe a 7.
I honestly really like Fire Red's graphics. Maybe it's because of Rusty, but like something about just it just looks really nice.
You're right. I'll give it a 7.5. I do like how it looks.
That's fair. I'm similar on it.
Let's go Pikachu and Eevee. I would give like a 5.5.
Choose a 10 out of 10. One of the best games I've ever played.
I'll even bump it up to a 6 because it's more fun to like shiny hunt and roam and stuff in that game.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's a great game for somebody who I honestly enjoyed it. Funny enough, because you just caught the Pokemon instead of battling.
Yeah.
It's much simpler. You could turn your brain off and play.
It was just to get the normies into the game from Pokemon Go.
And now all your data on Pokemon Go was sold to an AI company. So
Yeah, I haven't touched Pokemon Go in so long. They haven't done anything meaningful with it since 2016.
yeah, no, it's been a while since.
They're like, ooh, raids. You like raids, don't you? The thing that we've had in this game forever. Ooh, but now they're Dynamax, so you can call them different things.
Yeah, and then during COVID they were nice and they made it so you could do them remotely. That was only because
Yeah,
people
that
were going outside, not because of them being nice.
pretty much.
Knowing them, they should have just told people to go outside anyway.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
But overall, if I had to rate, I would give like Gen 1 a 6, maybe 6.5, and then I'd give Fire Red and Leaf Green a 7, 7.5. And then Let's Go. Everybody hates it, but honestly, I'll give it like a 7 because it's like I guess if I did it by my overall how I looked at the game, it'd be like maybe a 6. But if I did it by like how much I enjoyed or like my
Yeah.
experience of it, it'd be like a 7. You know what I mean? So with that concluded, let's move into Gen 2, which is a generation I have never played.
That surprises me.
I played some of like Soul Silver, but I've never only like a gym or two of it, but then I've never actually touched an original Gen 2.
Crystal was the first Pokemon game I ever played. Because my brother had it before I had Ruby. And I think it's the most charming looking game. The everything about it just looks like it has like character. I totally fucked this up. I was thinking too hard about Gen 1. Uh anyway, Gen 2 is essentially just red and blue 2. Um it's like half of a region. They did make it better, but again, like the region itself was like half a region and the scaling is not good.
They made it better though.
Um and like the designs are pretty good. I'd still say Gen 1 has better designs, but they started getting more like creative with them at least. Yeah, well, that was my next point. Giraffre is my favorite Pokemon.
Really Giraffrig.
That was a good thing. And then they started giving evolutions to Gen 1 Mons, which made them a bit better. And it's just Gen 1 Part 2. And like, it's cool that you get to go to Kanto, I guess, but it's like, it goes by so quick. I don't hate it. I like Gen 2. I just think it could have been better. Heart Gold and Soul Silver is significantly like I wouldn't say significantly. It fixes some things, but a lot of things are not fixed.
Pokemon can follow you though.
That's so true. And you can do the Pokathlon.
That is true. I know a lot of people for the longest time were saying they were the best remakes.
Yeah, which like they're good, they're fun. It's just like when you actually look at the game,
They're no Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, we should say.
those are bad games. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I'd honestly rather play Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl over Diamond and Pearl, but like,
That because you'd rather play Platinum or
they're just so disappointing. Well, yeah, Platinum's better than all of them,
okay, I was about to say.
but Diamond and Pearl's engine is just so slow.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong about that. But so I guess what I would say about Gen 2 is whenever because I never experienced it, but I would always watch like challenge runs of people playing through the games, and whenever he would do a run of Gen 2, I always liked watching it because I don't know about it, but like something about the graphics just made me feel this like comfortable or like
Yeah, it's nostalgic for some reason.
I have no attachment to Gen 2 because I never played it. But there's something about it that's just like calming and like brings me in and I like just like the way it goes of oh you go through the gym leaders, you take the Elite Four, you go to Kanto. It just like it's really calming and I used to like watch those and as I'd fall asleep at night.
Yeah,
And then that would just be how I would end up sleeping. And it just the feel of it I really love. If Pokemon just ended at that game, it would be remembered as an amazing game
true.
just because it literally was the cap to the series because they didn't know that they were gonna make Gen 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, but no. Yeah, the graphics it's just something about them. I don't it must just be that nostalgic feel you were saying.
the sprites in Crystal that move look much better than every other game.
Even Gen 9.
Um, Gen 9 is a mistake.
So if anyone can't tell, what doesn't like Gen 9?
It's really bad.
Oh, that's fair.
Like I literally like the entirety of you know,
Don't lie.
I like I like the feel of Gen 8 more than the feel of which is like saying a lot.
Really? I like part of me liked Gen 9 more than 8. Maybe I just because I played more of 9 than I did of 8. But I'm not like a big Gen 8 fan. Like it makes me feel an odd way, but we'll get back into it. But any your thoughts on Gen 2 before we rate it and move on?
Um I like Giraffe Rig, I don't know.
No, that's fair. What would you rate them out of 10?
Um Gold, Silver, and Crystal. I guess like Gold and Silver I give like a 6. Crystal I give like an 8. And uh Heart Gold, Soul Silver I'd probably also give an 8.
I know Heart Gold and Soul Silver have the Giovanni episode in it, right?
Yeah, they have something. Pretty sure. It's been a while since I've done like post game stuff with that game.
That is true. At least that's the one good thing about every time there's a remake, there is really good post game. Look at Gen 1's remake, Gen 2's, Gen 3's. We don't look at Gen 4's.
You got the Battle Resort. It was awesome.
I meant Gen 4's remake.
Oh,
You gotta think, because
well, they have everything Diamond and Pearl had,
well, you gotta think, because like you had the Sevi Islands for Gen 1,
which are kind of mid.
Gen 2's, but still, it's
It was cool.
something. It's something.
It's cool, but like they could have added so much more.
They could have done nothing though, like Gen 4's remakes.
But like, why am I going to an entirely separate part of this game that they deliberately added just to catch Oddishes and Rattatas again? Like all the encounters are the same, except for when you like beat the game and then you get like some of the joke Pokemon. But at the even that, it's like you get Ledyba and Spinarak and Hoot Hoot. Like, bro, give me anything.
What do you got against Hoot Hoot?
Fuck it, Hoot Hoot. And we oddly enough, they did the same shit in Emerald. It's like they open up that part of the Safari Zone and it's like, hey, here's Hoot Hoot and Spinarak and Ledyba. Like, give me something cool.
You just don't like Hoot Hoot.
Hoot Hoot just keeps falling into this like pattern.
That's fair. Oh, here's a fun question about Gen 2 or Gen 1.
Yes.
What would you've done for the remakes instead of the Sevi Islands to make it better?
I would have just made the Sevi Islands better. Like the Sevi Islands are a fine addition. It's just like do something cool with them.
Yeah, but you said you would have done something instead of them. What would your post game would have been for Fire Red if you got to make it and you were in charge?
I mean, it would just be similar to Sevi Islands, but it's like one island has literally nothing. Two island has literally nothing except for like initiating the quest for 3 island to save the stupid girl, and then
Well, in four is Hoot Hoot.
and Hoot Hoot. Yeah. 4, 5, 6, 7 are just kind of like all relatively lackluster. Like they moved Moltres to the Sevi Islands, and like there's like an unknown cave, and you can get like a Heracross, I guess. I don't know. It's like it was just a lot of missed potential. It could have been a cool post game to have like a bunch of like Gen 2 and Gen 3 mons, and like like trainers and gym leaders from other regions there, and it just kind of not a lot there.
Fair. My only argument towards it would be the fact that with Gen 2 and Gen 3 not compatible, that was their way of mixing Gen 1 and Gen 2 in the post game. They could have obviously like done it a ton better looking back at it retrospectively,
True.
but that was their way of giving you Hoot Hoot when Hoot Hoot wasn't available.
Thank God.
Because honestly, if Hoot Hoot was not in Fire Red, I don't know what I would do.
Most people probably don't even know that Hoot Hoot is in Fire Red.
Watch Hoot not even be in Fire Red after all of
He might
this.
not be. I won't lie. He might be in Leaf Green.
After all of this talk, he just not even in it.
I just recently 100%ed Fire Red, and I had to catch everything that existed in the game. I'm pretty sure Hoot Hoot was one of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I know what I'm talking about.
Did you did you do any challenges with it, or did you just play it through?
I did the retro achievements, so just whatever they told me to do, like beat the Elite Four on the first try with only using one mon, and beat all the gym leaders on set mode with only like 2 mons, and
Oh, just little things like that.
I ended up beating the Elite Four with Farfetch'd.
That's fair. So I guess what I would end up rating Gen 2 would be I'll give the remakes a like around an 8-ish.
Hmm.
Maybe closer, maybe I'll meet in the middle, 8, 8.5. Just because I don't have any bias towards any games besides Gen 4.
That's fair.
And they're not perfect though, which we'll get into in a little bit. So I would give it like an 8, 8.5, and then I would give Crystal and stuff a 7.5, I would say.
Okay.
I know a lot of people hate it, like especially Rosser. He's very vocal about how much he hates Gen 2.
Yeah, but he loves Gen 9, so his opinion doesn't.
True. He's also British.
That's true. We hate those.
We do hate those. We need to stop letting them exist.
I agree.
I think we can agree on it's one thing in this Pokemon video.
Hmm.
Well, besides the fact that we like the um sprites and the just textures of Gen 2.
Hmm.
One of my favorite like little things is when they like make videos on when people make ROM hacks for Gen 2 and they just like increase it to make it better or like more content in it.
Yeah.
It's always so cool just seeing like the expanded potential of it. That'd always be a really fun thing to do. Is just like take a region and just pump in literally like updates worth if it like kept getting more updates over the years.
Well, Crystal Legacy is kind of like that.
There's not. It's not. It might have been Sea Glass. It might. It was something.
Emerald Sea Glass is
No, not. No, Crystal something.
um oh, Crystal Clear maybe.
Oh yeah, it was one of those where they just like expanded on Gen 1 and the Gen 1 area, and they added extra post game stuff, things like that. Those are really cool to do. And I know Misplays when he did his legacy stuff. That brought a lot of. I feel like that brought a lot more attention back to those old games.
Hmm.
Because you played through the legacies, didn't you?
Yeah, I beat all of them.
You did nice. But I say we move on to the longest part of this video, which is Gen 3 Wubs.
Mm.
I'm gonna let you stand on your soapbox, take as long as you need, talk us through Gen 3.
Gen 3 is the best game, best set of games in the series, specifically Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, because they just kind of take the formula and fix it and completely make it playable. And they add difficulty, but not like unfair difficulty, and all of the mons are good. Every single design, minus like Elumies and I guess Volbeat kind of sucks too.
Grumpig.
Grumpig, yeah, fuck Grumpig. The best set of designs by far, the best starters. I don't know. I feel like I have more to say about this, but it's just too good. And ORAS, kind of mid.
Really?
Yeah,
Why is that?
because it wasn't a remake. They just tried to like reinvent Hoenn, and they didn't need to do that.
Grass was my first ever playthrough of Gen 3.
Yeah, it's not great. They changed Mauville, and that was the worst thing ever.
Are you mad about the gambling?
I am mad about the gambling too. Although to be fair, the gambling in Gen 3 is not that good.
No, it's not.
It was just slots and the little like the ball rolling.
No, I thought they had a few different types of gambling in there. More than that.
There was the one where it's literally just slots, and then the one where like you pick the panel, and then the little ball rolls around the circle, and if it lands on it, then you win.
Don't ask me. I never played Gen 3.
Bad answer. Best legendaries too. Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza, and then the Reggies and the Lotties.
Personally, I think like a lot more of Gen 4's legendaries more.
I don't agree.
Besides like the late guardians and the two blue things, I like most of the legendaries in 4 better.
There's just too many of them.
Yeah, but it was like world building. It wasn't like it was for the lore of the series.
Yeah, understandable. Black and White tried to do the same thing, but not with that.
Well, they completely just like reset the series and made their own.
Yeah,
But I guess I should probably give my thoughts on Gen 3 as someone who has no emotional attachment to it at all.
correct.
Um, their let's see. Their starters are definitely top 2 in my opinion.
Yeah. I know, Gen 4.
Oh, I wasn't gonna say Gen 4.
Really?
I'll talk about when I get to Gen 4, but like I just get like a weird like feeling when it comes to Gen 4. Just about looking at like the textures and the mons and little things like that. But honestly, I was gonna say like Gen 1s.
Yeah, fair.
Just because of how iconic they are. It's either gonna be Gen 1 or Gen 3 have the best starters. Well, because I love Mudkip. Mudkip's always been one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Only reason they're up there. 'Cause I'm not like a big Trico guy, and I've been prejudiced against fire types ever since I made the transition to water.
Understandable.
I came to the good side.
Fuecoco and I guess Hisui and Typhlosion are the only two times I chose a fire type on my first.
You know, I took Coco because originally I took Charmander, and that's when I became a fire boy.
Of course.
And then I took Piplup. Taking Piplup and I think Greninja and Mudkip was my official transition over to the good guys with the water types.
Of course.
So yeah, so I think that was my big thing for that. But yeah, because overall, I mean, great starters. I like the graphics of it. Obviously, doesn't like it doesn't have like a comforting feeling to me, like it might to you and others who grew up always looking at it. Like when it comes to like graphics, I want to look at Gens 2 more.
That's fair.
There's just something about it which just makes me feel more calm and stuff about it. Like I may watch someone play through Gen 2 or something tonight actually after this. Just because I haven't experienced it in a while. I think it's fun cuz overall, I mean, I would say Gen 3 is a great region cuz I mean, there's a lot of cool things. There's like the Reggie puzzles, there's
Those are not good things, I won't lie. Those are stupid.
they're neat things. Like it's just funny.
They're neat. They made me learn Braille when I was in 3rd grade.
See, like it's little things like that. It's like, "Oh, I need to stand in the same spot for 5 minutes." That's funny.
It is kind of funny.
And I remember going through ORAS trying to figure this out, and I thought the internet was crazy when it was telling me stuff. I'm like, no way, this is true. But stuff like that, it's fun. It has its own special charm to it and stuff. So overall, I mean, I have to rate it better than Gen 2, just because you'd kill me.
True.
But I would give it like a 8.5, 9, just a little too much water.
That's fair.
And then ORAS, I enjoyed it. I thought they did a really cool things. I know you probably not a big fan of getting the legendary so early, but like
Yeah.
I love Latios and Latios. They're really cool legendaries. So having one for your team, I was a big fan of. And then the way they used the Eon flute or whatever it was that you could fly around on them to the Mirage Islands and like all the legendary spots. I thought it was a really cool way of like adding legendaries and stuff into it. And I spent a lot of time
Cool.
hunting for the legendaries and flying around like that. And then also, the Delta episode was really cool.
I agree. I like Deltas.
I remember I was like listening to Matt Pat's theory on it for the Pokemon because I liked some of his older Pokemon theories and stuff on that stuff where he like talked about the Delta episode and he talks about multiverse and stuff. That's the first time I ever learned about the multiverse. But and then that one, I mean, obviously, like my bias of playing that game when I was little, that was one of the first Pokemon games I remember asking for
Mhm.
and getting both of them. I was really excited and stuff. But so, those ones, I'll give it like an 8.
Fair.
Yeah. Okay, your turn. I wonder what you're gonna rate them.
I think Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald are like a 9.5.
So they're not perfect.
I'm not giving out a 10.
With how much you've talked about them, they're not perfect in your eyes. The way you compare everything to them.
Correct. There are a lot of nitpicks I have with Gen 3,
Like what?
like how teams are built and um, how a lot of mons are not usable because of the physical special split not being there, and um, you literally never get to fight your rival with a fully evolved starter.
Really?
Yeah, there's specifically for Ruby and Sapphire. There's no abilities used outside of battle. It was fixed in Fire Red and Leaf Green, but like for like hatching eggs, you couldn't use like Flame Body to make them hatch faster or stuff like that. Um,
I never knew that.
so luckily that was fixed in or by Emerald. There's not very much post game besides Battle Frontier. The gym leaders and all of them are kind of personalityless and really have no effect on the story, which I guess is the same for the first 3 gens, even 4 gens. There are just way too many water roots. 2 of the Elite Four members don't have fully evolved Mons.
Mons.
Glacia has 2 Celios, and Drake has a Shelgon.
Oh, okay.
Changing the champion to Wallace was stupid.
It made a more interesting story though for the second playthrough, right? So it felt different.
I wouldn't say it was more interesting.
No, it'd be more interesting, like looking back at it. Like, say you played through it the first time, like through Ruby, and then you know how the game works, or the third game just makes it slightly better, and then you're like, oh wow, look, a whole different champion, a little story extra with it. Like that gives it some variety and like makes the third version like you want to play it instead of, oh, it's the same thing, just with some tweaks.
Yeah, it was necessary, but like Steven was just a much better champion. There's probably more, but it gets a 9.5. Oras is like a 7. It's better than X and Y, but there's just a lot of stuff that they kind of butchered. But that's been a long time on Gen 3. We can go to Gen 4.
Yeah. We were working with 10 minutes per generation, and that one we hit about 13 on. So that messed our flow up a little bit, but we'll have less to say as we go along for other generations.
After Gen 5, I really don't have a lot.
I mean, honestly, Gen 4 is probably the one I have the most to talk about. And after that, it all falls off because I've never played Gen 5 or 7.
True.
Played 2 gyms of 8, and then got all the gym badges at 9.
I don't blame you. Gen 8 sucks. Gen 9 sucks.
That's why but I feel like Gen 8's worse because I didn't get as far. I guess we'll flip things around, and I will talk first about Gen 4, because Gen 4 was my home. It was my first generation I played when I was really little. I had a cousin of mine give me 2 copies of Platinum.
2.
Yeah, I'm mad, I don't have the other one anymore, I accidentally traded it.
Accidentally?
No, I didn't mean to trade it. Me and my stepsister, when I was in 7th grade, we went to, this big lake in Kentucky, and we stayed on a huge, like, houseboat for, like, a week,
Yeah.
and when we were there, she traded me her Soul Silver, and I gave her my Platinum,
Uh-huh.
and then we played the games, and then she never gave me it back, and I kept asking for it, and she wouldn't, so I never got it. So I'm kinda mad, though, because those Platinum games were actually worth a good amount of money now.
But do you still have your Soul Silver?
I still have it, but, like, it's like whenever you shake it, you can hear something jiggle inside of it. But then I ended up buying 2 complete in box, Heart Gold and Soul Silvers, 1 of each, on eBay
Huh.
like 5 or 6 years back that I still have.
I lost my Poké Walker and I'm sad about it.
I never got the experience of Poker Walker. I've heard cool things, like, it's really neat.
It was great. I was in 5th grade when it came out. So like everybody would bring their Poké Walker to school.
Oh, really?
And then yeah.
I was just Go ahead. I was just watching
I was just gonna say
No, you go, I apologize. I was like, "You go," and then you stopped, so I was like, "Okay, I'll continue my thought," and then as I would continue my thought, you went to go.
I guess I chose Cyndaquil for my first Heart Gold run, but I chose Chikorita for my first Crystal, so I guess it's still never chose the fire type first. But like I named it Flame because I was in 5th grade and I was like, that's a cool name.
That is pretty cool, though.
And this one kid, Nathan, got like really mad because he was like, I named mine Flame. I was like, damn, cool, I guess. He was like, change it. It's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. This is Flame. So Nathan, if you're watching this, fuck you. I guess I ended up changing it because I deleted the save file, but
Yeah, no, that's fair. I guess what I'll say was I was just watching I'm a Blissey. They made a video not too long ago where
mhm.
they used the Walker and they were catching a what's the Pokemon's? I don't know, I just completely forgot. The Pokemon has like the 100 souls in it. They get on the rocks.
Spiritomb.
Spiritomb, yeah. They caught a Spiritomb inside the Walker, and it took them like 8 months of taking it to work every day to get the amount of steps needed for it, because they said they were making a competitive mon of every type, or of every mon from Gen 4, and that was the last one.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. So I would just watch something on the Walker a few days ago. So I get back to my story. So how I got screwed out of my second copy of Platinum. I don't know why I was given 2 copies of it. So it wasn't even like the box or anything. It was literally just 2 of the games.
I never had Platinum. I only had Diamond.
Pleb. But
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, I honestly didn't know what I was doing, and I think he gave me the game already beaten. So my only memories is I would just go through the Elite Four multiple times
Uh-huh.
and have fun with it, and then like look back at the history, because I remember vividly. I remember looking back and seeing the old teams he beat it with. I'm like, oh, that's cool. He beat it with these mons. And then I reset it for some reason. I don't remember how or when. And then I never got far in it. I got stuck at this beach part where like you're by the ocean, and I didn't know what to do next.
It's probably by Pastoria.
Oh yeah, I think it was Pastoria. I got stuck in this beach part. I didn't know what to do,
Yeah, game gets a little confusing when you're supposed to go to Sunny Shore.
especially when you're like 7. But
Yeah.
so that was my first experience with it. Overall, looking at it, I like it for like the distortion world and all that kind of cool stuff with it. Cynthia, Final Four, but the part of it that puts me off and makes me want to dock it as like my god game is like the fact that like looking through some of the textures of the mons, they just make me feel like weird.
Fair.
Maybe it's just like the vibe it gives off to me, but looking through some of the mons textures and stuff like that, it's like I really don't like looking at it. where it just makes me. It almost is like the same feeling I get when I look at Gen 5's bonds.
Yeah.
I get both of the a lot of the newer they mix together and it gives me a like blah like almost I don't know how to describe this feeling. There's probably something online for it on what it is, but just it gives me like a blash feeling towards it where it's like I don't look positively at it. I don't know if that really makes sense or not if I'm just rambling about it.
I kind of get it. There's a few things about Gen 4 that bother me.
Obviously like the health bar, you know the video of like Chansey taking 10 minutes to get killed,
Oh yeah.
stuff like that. But I mean the gambling was fun from what I remember when I was 8. The highlights of it were definitely, Piplup,
True.
um, Cynthia, the final 4, like, the elevator was really cool, like, I still can vividly remember the blue and yellow, like, Pokeball shape on the elevator and then go up and down.
So real.
Those are my big, like, huge positive takeaways from it. It's just really cool how the mons work and stuff like that. And then I guess I should probably mention Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, because I remember for forever waiting on the hype for it. Like, oh my gosh, we're finally gonna get Gen 4 remakes. It felt like almost a meme in itself. It kind of reminds me of back when, like, 7 or 8 years ago for Minecraft, when everybody joked about it being the cave update was what we were gonna get,
Mm.
and how the cave update's never gonna happen. That's how I felt with like the Gen 4 remakes and stuff. It's like, oh, it's like, okay, this is never gonna happen. It's just a joke at this point. Kind of like again, Minecraft, kind of like how they joke about the end update now is the way that it looked about that.
Yeah.
And so then when they finally came out, I thought it was really cool. I personally liked the trailer and how everything looked, and I had no issues with Brilliant Diamond and stuff. And then I would think it was like halfway through the like release cycle as we started approaching the release date is when all the negative stuff started coming out about it. Where like, oh hey, there's like nothing extra. It's pure Diamond and Pearl remakes.
It's the exact same game.
There's nothing added. There's no distortion world. There's nothing, and then that's kind of where like my feelings on it slightly changed because like I was like, okay, I'm still gonna play it. Gen 4 is what I grew up with. If the I mean, because the graphics, I mean, they look better than what Gen 4s were, obviously.
Yeah.
Just people just might not be a big fan of the style, which personally I didn't mind because like I also kind of like Let's Go Pikachu's simplistic style for it and stuff. But going up to the release of it, I was happy with it for the most part. And then playing the game, I had fun. I had a fine time. Like I didn't end up beating the game. I think I got to the Elite Four with a really bad team because I just like didn't make type coverage, and then I kind of just left it there. And then I left it there till like 2023, 2022 ish, and then that's when I actually like finally beat it after it sat there for a few years. And then I'd somewhat enjoyed it from then. So, but yeah, those are my opinions on it, Wubs. I know you were very intrigued with the Brilliant Diamond stuff, so I'll let you go ahead and talk about Gen 4 and the remakes now.
Diamond and Pearl are okay games made on a bad engine. And there's a lot of nitpicky stuff that I have. Like the dex is not very good.
All the fire types.
Uh, yeah, all the fire types. The fact that there's like 40 new mons, not including the evolutions and stuff. And like even a lot of the evolutions and pre-evolutions are terrible. Like Magmortar is disgusting, and
I know that's literally what I was about to say. Magmortar, Electivire,
I'm fine with Electivire. I've kind of grown on it.
and
Like Tangrowth.
Tingrowth grew on me. He was what was the game called? It was the game on the Wii where you would dash around with Pikachu and it was like a child one.
Pokepark.
Pokepark, yeah. Tangrowth was if you went over to there was a creepy mansion and he was in charge of a game where you had to swing on a vine as far as you could. I thought he was pretty cool.
That's so cool. Yeah, there's more. But whatever. Dex is not great. And even a lot of the new mons are I don't love, except for like Empoleon.
There are some cool ones though. It has its good amount of hits, but also it has its skunkies and stuff.
Its starters are good, and like Luxray and Staraptor are cool.
Mhm.
Um, but like that's kind of why you see everybody.
I use them probably on every team.
Yeah, everybody just runs them. Um,
There's no like fun variety with it. It's not like you have tons of options to build a team. It's like, okay, let me get my Intimidator, let me get my Bird.
and the one thing that I was talking about that like always threw me off about how the game looked is that in Gen 3, when moves would be used, it looked like the Mon that was using it had the animation in front of him, and whoever was getting hit, the attack would like go into them. And Gen 4, it's like an overlay. Like a flamethrower will be like, if you use it, the flamethrower will be like behind you, and then it will go in front of them.
Oh, really?
It always bothered me. And also double battles, both of your mons are like really close together, and it always made me angry because they like clip into each other.
That's really funny nitpicks because
Yeah.
I was a child when I played, so I never thought of stuff like this. And then so I tell you my like, oh, I'm like, oh, I like the vibe. I'm like, oh, this part makes me feel weird. And you're like, the deck sucks, the engine's horrible, and you like give the complete opposite opinions that I do from it. But I think it's a really funny contrast.
I'm not getting that coin. Um, okay.
If you were playing Mario though,
Yeah, if I was playing Mario, I wouldn't have gotten it.
no, but yeah, you're playing Pokemon right now.
I am, yeah. Platinum is a better game. Didn't fix all the problems, but the engine is better, and they added a bunch of cool things and made the fights better. And
Distortion World's always the big part.
I don't like the distortion world at all.
Really, I thought it was cool. As a like 8-year-old, that was really cool.
It's really cool the first time you do it, and then like
If it was in the remakes, it would have been cool.
I guess, but like, yeah, I don't have much to say about Platinum.
You gotta play like the luminescent platinum. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it looks cool. BDSP is just Diamond and Pearl, but it looks like the Link's Awakening game on Switch. And the 3D models do not look as appealing as the 2D sprites, but it is a more playable game. And the underground actually has a purpose.
Well, it's cool because you find so many mons down there.
Yeah, I mean, I used to play tag in the underground with my friend in Diamond, and I'll never get that experience back. But like
But because tag's not there, or because your friends aren't there.
both. Um, um, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's like Diamond and Pearl is like a 6, Platinum's like an 8, and BDSP is probably also a 6,
So you give them about sixes across the board.
and then an 8 for Platinum.
Yeah, that's no, that's fair. When it comes to things, I don't. Part of me wants to rank Gen 4 as the best, but like in like a scope, looking back at it, I don't know what the best Pokemon generation is because nostalgia really just picks your favorite. Honestly,
Yeah,
looking at it through a lens. And but also I can like be like, oh, I'm like Gen 4 is great, but like it's not the best. But that also means I just don't know the best then because I don't have a nostalgic one to crown as the best. Because like the story was not story confusing. The gameplay was confusing. I got stuck when I was little. Little things like that where like I never beat the game on my own. I had to have a beaten copy of it, which I ran through the Elite Four with.
true.
Honestly, maybe there isn't a best generation, and this is all just a waste of everybody's time listening. This is a weird revelation to come through an hour into the podcast.
Don't worry, I have very little to say about the next few generations.
No, that's fair. I mean, I'll come up with things to say, and like I can get that runtime going. I'm not too worried. We're halfway through. We still got an hour and a half to go. Don't worry.
I'll start with Gen 5.
Okay, I should probably rate it first. Gen 4.
Oh, I thought you rated it already.
No, I didn't rate it. I was saying my opinions about Brilliant Diamond when you definitely didn't come back.
True.
Um, I'll give like I never played Diamond and Pearl, so I'll just give them like a 6.5, 7. I'll give the remakes like a 7, and then I'll give Platinum 7.5 to 8.
Fair enough.
Floor is yours.
I skipped Black and White because after I guess I technically skipped Platinum too because I played Diamond and then I played Heart, and I didn't think I needed to play Platinum because I thought it was the same game.
That's fair though.
But then I thought I was too cool for Pokemon because I was in middle school now, and I didn't play it for the first time until like 2015 or 2016. So I even thought a lot of Gen 5 mons, Gen 6 mons, because I played X and Y first. But when I did play it, it's just like a lot of stuff is weird. Like the characters are like obviously 2D and everything, but they're like lanky, and it always kind of like didn't settle right, and it always bothered me that every time I entered a building, it would like I just want to enter the building. And I think the sprites are cool because they move all the time in battle. It's like they don't look great because like a lot of them are just ports from Platinum that move, and I never really liked the Platinum sprites that much. I mean, all in all, Black and White is a good game. Black and White 2 is better. It has a good story, but like really, who cares? Pokemon. Yeah, that's really it. Their designs. Oh yeah, the Dex is the second worst Dex.
Kind 4 or 6.
Gen 9.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Gen 9 has the worst Dex by.
Here's a hater though.
But I'm right.
I don't know though.
I'm objectively correct.
I haven't played every generation. I haven't played every generation enough to be able to judge them. But is that your thoughts on it? Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. My turn to take a stab at this. I have never played a Gen 5 game before.
Okay.
So, my only connection to it was when I was a wee little child, the anime. I don't remember watching much of it, but the one episode of the anime I remember watching was Tepig's like story of how he found him with like his flame almost
Oh
going
yeah.
out, which was like I basically I think a copycat of the Charmander one.
And a copycat of the Chimchar one.
And the Chimchar one, but listen, it's the fire type special, and I think remember watching that. That made Tepig probably my favorite Pokemon when I was little. So just for that, I like Gen 5.
Don't like that Tepig's wearing a diaper. I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't remember watching that part. I was a child.
No, like his design, he has like a little black diaper.
Oh, oh. I thought you were saying the anime he wore a diaper. I'm like, I don't know.
No.
I would have went there. I'm like, okay, yeah, Wubs. I don't remember that part, but you could just sit here and lie to me about stuff that happened in Gen 5. I'm like, makes sense. Bad game, makes sense.
I absolutely could have.
You could have missed opportunity. So like my the only thing I knew about Gen 5 was watching brief moments of the anime. I remember the Tepig episode, and then I remember like a tiny bit about maybe there's like a Meowth episode. That's it. And then since I never played the games, I always had like a oh, it's just Gen 5, it's the worst generation. The designs suck. Completely new decks,
They do suck. I won't lie.
stuff like that. And then over the years, I feel like it was the transition from Gen 7 to Gen 8 is when everybody started to like randomly go back and really start appreciating Gen 5.
Yeah.
Where like things took a dramatic switch from this is the worst game in the series to this is the best game in the series. And then looking at it,
That's how people were with Gen 7.
yeah, no, people are starting to deal with Gen 7 too now, which I guess is just a thing where it takes 2 generations to fully appreciate when it comes out. So like we won't appreciate Gen 9 till Gen 11 comes out, and you'll be like, oh my god, Gen 9 was amazing. And then you're gonna look back at the stuff and you'll be like, what was I thinking? Being so mean about Gen
I'm,
9.
I will never appreciate that shitty game.
So when we get to Gen 11 and their games are both astronomically worse than Gen 9, you're gonna miss Gen 9.
Doubt.
But yeah, so we got to a point where everything shifted and we became really big fans of Gen 5. And like my only things about it is I like the art style. I think it's really cool the seasons are
Yeah,
stuff like that. I know I don't you play with Gen 5 graphics for sprites on for Showdown?
I do.
Yeah. So like there's really cool things about it and like it had triple battles and all kinds of fun little things they added to the series and stuff. I guess it's one of those things where I need to play the generation to like I guess understand it,
Correct.
which I don't know if I ever will. It's on my list to eventually play. Just I don't know if I can. And then I guess I should briefly talk on Black, White, and Black too. I think it's a really cool concept the way they kind of flipped the sequels
Uh huh.
on its head and they like, "Oh, let's just make two." Which is dumb. It should have just been like Black and White 2 could have been like a single game, but like cuz like we could have had Gray. But I do think it was It was neat though. They at least tried something different. They had the time skip and little things like that, which I can appreciate the coolness from it.
Yeah, Black and White 2 should have been how they went second games.
Yeah,
I mean, they could have done anything for X and Y, but
yeah, maybe it's best they never got remakes. But what would your overall ratings be? I don't have a rating because I haven't played it.
I'll give Black and White a 7.5 and 2 an 8.5.
Is there any? Oh, I guess the really cool thing about two is the world tournament they do.
That is really cool.
That's a really neat concept, which I think they should bring back eventually. As someone who never played it, I still think it's really neat that you could play against all kinds of random gym leaders and stuff,
Yeah.
which you might be able to do in that. What's the new Pokemon battling game gonna be coming out soon?
Oh, Pokemon Champions, I think.
Is there any updates on that game?
Nope.
Really? That's crazy. It's been a while since they announced that stuff.
Well, they announced Pokemon Sleep, and then they didn't say anything about it for 3 years. So it might be something like that again.
But Sleep did come out a few years ago.
Yeah, and I'm sure nobody plays it.
Yeah, no one does, but that's not the point. I mean, I slept with it a few nights. It was pretty cool. I just kept forgetting to turn my phone on.
I downloaded it and then thought it was stupid and then uninstalled it.
Well, my only problem with Pokemon Sleep was the fact that you had to keep your phone on all night.
That's stupid.
Like, if my phone actually unplugged, it would have died. And the weird thing is when it would randomly record sounds throughout the night for you to hear. That's weird. I saw all kinds of clips online of like some of the really weird things they were getting from their sleep, like they would mumble.
That's fucked up. I like it.
Yeah, no, it's really weird. I don't know what they're thinking with some of these Pokemon spin-offs, honestly.
Hey, yeah. Pokemon Champions will be cool though, because it'll just be hopefully similar to Pokemon Showdown on the Switch.
Or competition. So that they release Champion and then they season assist Showdown.
I don't doubt it, to be honest.
Hey, at least we'll still have ours.
Will we?
It's separate, right?
Pretty sure it runs from a Showdown server. So if Showdown goes down, then our PTL goes down.
That sounds like it. That sounds like a Diego question. I would have to, or a Sylph question. I asked him out of curiosity.
Yeah, we can just have Diego copy all of the code and make his own.
Yeah, see, no problems. And then we put it behind a paywall or like a password to get even onto the website.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have a password. Zealamese.
Oh yeah, obviously. My bad. I love when you got yelled at for giving the password out.
It's like whatever. It's
It's people that were applying for next season anyway.
yeah, so whatever. Um,
I mean, I know it's not our server, but it'd be really funny just to have like 1,000 people on there, and then he has to just like kick everyone off.
Gen 6.
Oh yeah, Gen 6.
Gen 6. It was really cool when I first played it because it was the first time since Pokemon XD that I got to play a 3D Pokemon game. Um, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I beat the game and I was like, this is amazing. And then I played it again like 3 or 4 years later when I was so burnt out and fatigued from seeing the exact same models over and over and over again. And I was like, this game is ugly and boring. And the only cool thing is that I get roller skates. There's like 60 new mons, maybe, and half like extremely forgettable. They added fairy type, I guess, but like none of the fairy types were cool. Bebe's dumb. Fritzy and Slurpuff are dumb. Yeah, it's not a great game. Roller skates are the best thing ever, though.
Like Slurpuff at least.
Pink like Slurpuff for certain reasons.
Oh, we don't have to go on those here.
No.
No. But is that your overall thoughts on X and Y?
Yes.
Let's see.
Oh, and it's unfinished. Very unfinished. That's all.
So X and Y, they were the first games that I was like conscious enough to be there for the release cycle.
Oh,
Or like I knew of the games, I played them, and I knew that they were coming out. They were the first ones that I was like, oh wow, new generation coming out and stuff. So
yeah. I was like watching the Korokoro stuff when all the
yeah,
new mods were being released.
yeah. Though, so I'll say that like obviously like it's not a good game. There's a lot of very odd things about it.
Uh-huh.
Like the story with Flair, the just pitiful amount of mons they add, or how like obviously there's a lot of great mons they added in Gen 6, but it was just such a small number. It's like 60 something of them, if that.
For the longest time, I called Lysander Dorito Hitler
What?
because that's all he was. He just wanted to nuke everybody who didn't fit his ideal world,
That is crazy.
and his hair looked like a big Dorito.
What in the world?
Yeah, so like, weird that I've had to mention Hitler twice in this.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Uh,
Honestly, there's no we.
yeah,
There's you.
like people seem to forget that Team Flair's goal is really dumb.
No, it's really dumb. Like obviously, no, the
They want to kill everybody who doesn't fit fashion,
yeah, and you got to respect them for that.
but they look goofy as hell.
Yeah, no, they're very strange. The only cool things I remember about it is starters, the anime. I think that was the best art style the entire anime had with Gen 6's.
Hmm.
It just looked the nicest, and like when they went to Gen 7, it went completely downhill. It went too kiddish. It looked really good. Because we've talked about it before. You like Gen 6's art style for the anime, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember.
About the Gen 7 anime?
No, the Gen 6 anime, the art style for it.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I was saying. That's one of the huge benefits in my mind was the anime looked really good before it went downhill the next season. Um, the games were simple enough or simpler, so like as a child, I was able to beat them with no problem and stuff. There was
Hmm.
I have vivid memories of we would always have to go camping and stuff. I would when I was little, and I remember always taking my 3DS around and playing Pokemon on. It was really cool. And then that was the first time a girl liked me, so that was also really neat in the story.
Zoinks. We hate women.
Yeah, we hate women in this household.
Uh-oh. Did you see that somebody interrupted Boflingus?
Oh,
This guy joined named Sticker.
uh-oh.
Did you see matchmaking competitive matchmaking channel?
I'm looking at it. Uh-oh.
This is unacceptable.
Do we someone ping him in general? Sorry about that. Freeze from the podcast. We had something very important happen on the Discord.
Very true.
We have a certain balance which may have just been broken and the server might have to shut down.
100% true. Anyway, I give Gen 6 a 6.
You give Gen 6 a 6?
Yes.
That means that they have to get better from here. That means Gen 7 will get 7 and 8 and 8 and 9.
Sure. Are we ready for Gen 7?
Are we ready for Gen 7?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, I should probably rate Gen 6, shouldn't I?
Oh yeah.
Gen 6, I guess I'll give it. What do I give it? Obviously, it's not good.
You can give it like a 6.5.
Sure, I'll give it a 6.5. Only X because I never played Y, and then Y gets a 5.5 because I'm different.
Okay, fair enough. Gen 7 is great and it's pretty and I like Rowlet.
No, I really like Rowlet.
Uh, there's
Rowlet's
just, there's just too many goddamn cutscenes. But the story's cool and I like the characters. And then Ultra Sun and Moon fixes a lot of the like or like a lot of the cutscene problems, but then just kind of makes the story not make too much sense, which is fine because it's more replayable. I just like Gen 7. That's all.
that's fair. What message of mine did you delete in general?
Don't worry about
Oh, you deleted the message.
it.
I was looking at it. Um, I gotta let them know that isn't me because they're actually starting to believe that that was me. Sorry, tangent again. We apologize. So, did I think Gen 7's at the point now we were just talking about where it's starting to get loved again?
Yes.
I'll uncrop that photo.
No, you mustn't.
I will revert this photo to the original.
No. I'll move on to Gen 8
Oh,
if you don't keep talking.
sorry. I'm going through something very important. I'm getting framed for a crime that I did not commit.
Womp womp.
So, Gen 7, I played a tiny bit of. I got I got Sun. I think I got at a GameStop when I was at my grandma's,
Oh,
and I played. I don't even think I made it to the first trial.
oh
Honestly,
my god.
I don't think I even made it to the first trial. But like, I like the Hawaiian feel to it. The bad guys were stupid, but that's kind of just what Pokemon are at this point.
Team Skull is awesome. Never say that again.
I'm sorry. Team School is amazing, and I wasn't paid off.
Correct.
I just don't like the way they changed the gyms and stuff. I get it was like like a breath of fresh air, but like
I thought it was cool.
it just feels off to me. I think it's neat. Like it gives Gen 7 its like identity, but like it's almost trying to be different, if you know what I mean?
You.
They changed just a few things. They'll be like, "Oh, look, it's Pokemon again, but in Hawaii," and stuff like that. Where they could have done some other things with it, like you were mentioning the cutscenes, but like the overall story was really cool with like the Ultra Beasts and stuff like that, which I do appreciate.
Yeah.
Which I take a big appreciation for because it was like it's like a cool, just completely different thing where they don't look like Pokemon, but they are Pokemon.
Yeah. I like the Ultra Beast.
Yeah, no, they're really, especially Buzzwold. And Stack Attacka has become one of my favorites
Mhm.
recently.
He's so stupid.
It's so stupid. It's so bulky, especially on Metronome. That thing doesn't die unless it like kills itself.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no. Overall, I mean, I have pretty good feelings about Gen 7. I'll never beat it, but A is pretty cool.
Fair enough.
Yeah. You want to move on to Gen 8?
I'll just give Sun and Moon an 8 and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon 8.5.
It's fair.
Now Gen 8.
Now, are you ready for? Are you sure you're even ready for this? Do you want to take a deep breath and like prepare yourself? Because the podcast is gonna get more heated from here. This is where things go downhill.
I can finish Gen 8 quick. Gen 8 is not good.
There's a few little bright spots in Gen 8.
Gen 8 is boring, linear, pointless, forgettable characters. Wild Area is kind of cool, I guess. It was ugly until another game came out, and then I started to appreciate it. It was easy. It was slow. It was the music wasn't good, most of it at least, which is crazy for a Pokemon game. Dynamax is so dumb.
No, that's fair.
Uh, the decks, surprisingly, I don't hate.
Honestly, it's not bad. The Dex isn't. There's not like besides like the fossils, but then also once you learn the history behind the fossils, you're like, okay, that's cool. I respect it. They look stupid, but I respect it.
There's just like weird little guys that I like for some reason, like Choodle. I think Choodle is so funny. Also, Surfetched and Berserker are there.
I mean, I guess Surfetch is okay.
Surfetched is so sick. Again, I've mentioned the anime before, but like I liked him in the anime because he every time he fainted, he never fell over. He was just too cool to fall over. He would just die standing up.
Oh, really?
It's so metal. I love him.
I never knew that.
They're really funny. He was like too much of an awesome knight to be able to be seen falling over.
Oh, I respect that.
He's so sick. I love him.
Yeah, he's one mon you've definitely grown attached to.
Hell yeah, Quack Sparrow baby.
Personally, I like the real Quack Sparrow, but different argument, different day. We don't need to get into that.
Uh, Whatever. I'm done with Gen 8.
Gen 8, I'll look into it. It was because like I was mentioning with Gen 6, it was the first one that I was like sentient enough to know the release for. Gen 8 was
True.
the first one I was like online for. Using the internet enough to see opinions more widely and like watch people do things, and it was maybe just that I'm just a really late bloomer to Pokemon in general, with Gen 8 being the one that I like was there for the complete launch cycle of.
Hmm.
Would you say that? Or
I took off work to get Gen 8.
really?
Yeah, I was 19.
We don't judge here, but I was 14, Wubs.
Sad. Um,
It is. But so it was like I know the big thing with Dexit was the thing everybody was complaining about.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me too much because I don't play competitive in those games. So
The only thing that honestly I am annoyed about from Gen 8 now is the fact they removed like 70 moves from the game. I want Ice Ball and Metronome. Why can't I use it on Showdown?
yeah, no, that's
We
yeah.
need
I
we need
mean,
to do that.
believe it or not, we can do that now if we work somebody hard enough.
Do you just want to like poke Sylve enough times until he does it?
I've literally been an advocate for this the whole time.
No, I have been too. I'll tell you right now, on Instagram today, we posted fusions because the region just ended and I have like a week break from it. And
Mhm.
we was recording the fusion videos and he's like, there's so many cool moves getting pulled that you guys don't give, like Ice Ball and
Yeah,
Vicious Rend and stuff. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, those are Gen 3 moves and other stuff that we don't have on ours yet because we only use Gen 9 moves. I wish we would fix it so then we could pull that stuff.
it's really stupid, but I want Sylph to add the moves from Coliseum and XD.
Really? What special moves are from there? I never played those games.
They're all shadow moves. It's like an entirely different type, and it's super effective against everything and has like weird effects.
What has Sylph said to that?
Nobody's talked to me about it, unfortunately.
I wonder. They're probably ignoring you. If we just ask them enough times.
Yeah, I believe that they're just ignoring me, but that's fine.
Sylv, if you manage to click on this episode and you're also now just about 90 minutes into it, Wubs has something to say to you real quick.
Who's Sylph?
Yeah, no, Sylv right now. Say he's watching this 90 minutes in. What message do you have for him?
Add all the shadow moves from Coliseum and XD because it'd be funny.
Also, Ice Ball. That's the only one I want.
And Ice Ball and Vicious Rend and Submission and
Bide.
Bide
Legendary move.
and Thunderous Bolt Beak. That's another one.
Dragon Rage.
Dragon Rage and Sonic Boom.
I want that 40. I want that 40 damage.
Yeah,
Sylv, get on that.
we gotta add them all. We gotta add all of them. Anyway, Gen 8, I give that like a 5.
Yep. No, that's fair. I never played Gen 8 enough to even like experience it. I played like 2 gyms in. I got a Jolt Tick. I got I think Sobble,
All the starters are mid except for Monkey.
Monkey. Yeah, that was one of the it was one of the first regions where I seriously considered taking the grass starter as the best one. The only other one was Alola, but
Rowlet.
yeah, but with recently I've started to like Prismarina a lot more from like having to use it
Yeah,
a couple times and stuff. So that one has gained a lot of respect in my eyes.
true.
So I think that's the only region where I'm gonna take the grass starter. Besides, if I play through Gen 1 and I just want Bulbasaur,
Mhm.
that's about it. But where was that going? Oh yeah. So like
What do you rate Gen 8?
yeah, Gen 8. I don't know. I don't really like it. I haven't played it enough to enjoy it.
5 it is. All right.
Sure, sure.
Um,
Oh, I'll give it an 8 though, because you know Gen 8.
fair enough.
No, oh yeah, I'll give it a 5. It didn't captivate me enough to even get more than 3 gyms in. So
Gen 9.
I made it, Wubs. This is it.
Gen 9 is an awful disgrace of a game. The fact
Wait, no, we forgot something.
what?
Legends Arceus.
It was fun.
Or do you want to come back to it afterwards?
I can do it now.
Okay.
It's a fun game that was very underdeveloped and rushed, but they had the right idea. So hopefully, Legends ZA is like fun.
Yeah. Hopefully it is.
I'll give Legends like an 8.5.
I'll give Legends an 8.5. That's fair. I think the concept is really cool for Legends and like the story they did for it.
Yeah,
My favorite part was probably honestly the way that they messed with the catching mechanics and like gave lore to like old Sinnoh,
yeah.
which is really cool. And then also the new mons they added. All of them are really solid. I like the Hisuian types.
I do like that it made it more acceptable for BDSP to exist because they weren't just like here's your only Sinnoh game. They were like here's a cool Sinnoh game on top of a shitty remake.
Yeah, no, it made the Gen 4 feel like it actually got love instead of getting completely shafted by a very rushed game by Luca.
Ugh.
But but yeah, no, I think it was really I have still haven't played much of Legends Arceus. I was literally talking about this in one of the interviews earlier today. How I need to go back to it and play it because I did enjoy my time with it. I just stopped playing Switch games was my problem.
There.
But I think that's one definitely I want to go back to.
I beat it once.
Did you 100% it or just beat it?
100% it.
Oh, really? Nice. Was it enjoyable to do that too with all the stuff?
Yeah, I like completing the Pokedex, and it was fun to do it in that game.
They made it really interactive the way you could
Yeah,
earn stuff with it, which I think is a really cool way of doing it. It incentivizes you to play the game a lot more than people would have.
I just wish the boss fights were cooler because they were all like the exact same, which is like you roll and then you throw the stupid little ball.
Yeah. I only did the Cleavor fight, and I think that's it. But I did also like how you unlock more areas as the game went on, too.
Yeah,
I thought that was neat. But yeah, overall, very I honestly I'm pretty positive for it, especially in a lens now looking back at 8 and 9. I'd much rather play Arceus 20 times than 8 and 9 at all.
I agree. I would too. I might replay it
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah, honestly, let's do it. Um yeah, I'll give it like an 8.
Fair enough. Gen 9 is a disgrace of a game. It is embarrassing that the most profitable or IP of all time is putting out literal slop that looks like a PS2 game. It was released on a console that couldn't run it more than 15 frames per second. The dex is awful. The new updated like designs for all the characters are awful. Everything looks like clay as opposed to like its own thing. The character models themselves, they look like absolute fucking dorks. I hate looking at them. You can't dress them up to make them look any better. The only hairstyles you can get make you look absolutely freaking, I'm not going to say words. The open world is horrific. You cannot do anything. It doesn't tell you, expects you to go in the right order. It says, "Oh, open world, go wherever you want." Wrong answer, stupid. You can wander into the 8th gym and fight a level 50 with your 5 starter.
Like what I told you like 2 times now at this point, Wubs. It level scales if you go in the right order.
I, but they should know if they're gonna make an open world game and literally tell you that your paths and your choices change the game, then make it do that. If I go to a gym, I need them to be on my level, and then if I go back, it needs to not be 20 levels below me.
It's open world because there's 3 different stories you can partake in. You don't have to do all of them.
Yes, and 2 of them are garbage slop.
Only 2?
Yeah, I kind of liked the Titan fight line,
You know, I was about to say I like the giant cloth.
but even like they couldn't afford cutscenes, I guess, because they were like when you would find the Titan, it would just be like they would like shift the model and it would look gross and like cloth breaking something, he would just swing and then like 2 seconds later it would just break. It was so bad. It looked awful.
It's cool when he would feed the sandwich to the dog all the time.
It was not cool actually.
It was a really bad graphics, but it looked cool.
Arvin was cool when you find out that his parents are dead. It's kind of funny. Uh, before that, he was just like a whatever. I did not like them. People are like, "Oh, she's the coolest rival because she wants to battle." Give me back blue and give me back silver. The ones that just hated you because they wanted to be haters.
We didn't even talk about the rivals at all during this.
Well, these are the only ones that I hate.
That's fair.
Penny was. I hate her.
I didn't even remember any of the rivals'
Pretty sure
names.
she says cringe throughout the.
Isn't one of the gym leaders literally a influencer? Or is that
Yeah, I
yeah,
hate
that
her. Iono.
yeah. You're jealous she has more Twitch followers than you.
Oh man, I have one Twitch follower actually. I don't know why, but I do.
Oh, my bad. No, I'm joking.
Um, horrible balancing, horrific, whatever it's called. Power creep.
We can get a start on the power creep. We could go on about some of these abilities.
Literally, the only saving graces of this game are 5 and Area Zero. And honestly, I do not like the paradox. I think all paradox.
Really?
It's just like Area Zero. It's and like the idea behind the paradox.
I like the past forms. The future ones are stupid.
At the end of the day, Scarlet and Violet's a 3 out of 10. Oh, and Farigiraf, they gave Girafarig an evolution, and that's very important. So instead of a 3, I'll give it a 4 because of that. It's a 4 out of 10.
Honestly, that's really generous of you to give it a 4.
Yeah, because it's playable. I beat it twice.
After all of this time you've talked, Wubs, about how bad this game is, you beat it twice?
Well, I had to Nuzlocke it once.
Are you what in the world?
I didn't enjoy it. I just did it. I don't know what you want from me.
No, that threw me for a loop. So, do you want to touch on the DLCs for 8 and 9?
Yeah, I didn't spend my money on it. That dog shit.
They did a lot better for Gen 9s than they did for Gen 8s, I feel like.
Why does Arcaludon exist?
That's cool. So I can run Eviolite on my Dralodon.
But no, it's a bridge.
Yeah.
Why? Why is it a bridge?
What's bigger than a tower? A bridge.
No. Wrong.
The only thing bigger than one tower is 2 towers.
It's all coming full circle.
It's going full circle.
Anyway, I'm done. Gen 9 sucks. Gen 9's not a
Okay, my turn. Gen 9, I actually got farther in it than I have any game since Gen 6. I beat all 8 gym leaders in it. I thought the story was stupid with like the sandwich thing, but then eventually kind of grows on you the farther you go along. And then the evil team thing, I thought that was pretty stupid.
Oh, I didn't even talk about.
Go ahead, Wubs.
Ew, they're so bad.
Go ahead, Wubs. Floor is yours.
They're so stupid. How did they make a worse team yell?
What made him so bad to you?
The whole team star story was abysmal. They're just stupid. Their whole existence is we were bullied. Okay, whatever.
This is bullied. He didn't go start himself an evil organization.
I agree. So yeah, continue. I hate Gen.
Oh, so I figured I'd ask you. So, do you think them turning into an evil team was a lack of like proper bullying, or do you think it was that they were bullied too much?
I don't think they were bullied enough.
What would you have
Like
done if you were their bullies to not let them do that?
lots of physical violence, lots of offensive slurs. How else do you be a bully? I don't know.
Cyberbully them? I don't know.
I'd cyberbully. Honestly, I give those bitches a stick their head in the toilet. I hate them.
Is there a certain one you want to call out here, like the your least favorite of them?
I don't remember what any of them look like. I blocked them out from my. I know that Penny is like. Oh, I forgot. There's like leaders. I thought you were telling me to like name the grunts. I was like, I don't fucking know.
No, I just meant somebody on the evil team. I don't know any of the names.
The little twink that wears all the pink and has like a wand. I don't know what his deal is, but he sucks.
That's fair. I don't even remember, honestly.
What do you give Scarlet Violet?
I don't know, like a 5 or a 5.5. I thought the DLC, I felt like the DLC was like proper steps in the right direction compared to eights, where they added Ogrepon, they gave it a fun little thing, and then I've heard really good things about the Blueberry Academy, how difficult it is.
I,
Have you?
yeah, they like give them competitive movesets, but I do not care enough.
Did you play it?
No, of course
Wait,
not.
you can't judge a book unless you pay all the DLC money.
I judged the book by playing the entire game. That
You can't judge the book by only playing, I guess, reading all the chapters and not reading the.
that's literally like saying you can't judge a book because you read the entire first book.
Yeah, no, there's a whole other book you gotta buy. Actually, 2 of them, and you're gonna give me shipping and handling on top of it.
Oh, you didn't read the epilogue on the back. You can't judge the whole book.
Yeah, you don't know what happens to the characters after the story. You need to go buy that.
I saw the shit where they were like dancing because they had like fucking like pie or something. It was stupid.
Was that the Ogrepon one? Or
I don't know.
maybe the blueberry one, 'cause, like blueberry pies?
I think it was the Percant one.
Percant? Oh, I love Percant. Let's not even get started on that. Actually, just for Percant, it gets a 7 out of 8 or 7 out of 10.
Damn. Good night, everybody.
Wait, no. Before we end this, there's two more games we need to talk about, which we skipped over.
Huh.
XD and Coliseum. I have never played. I heard you have.
They're both banger games. Um, they're
Which one?
just slow.
Which one do you want to start with? Coliseum or XD?
Coliseum is phenomenal. Um, every battle is a double battle. All the animations are amazing compared to what they are now. The scenery is it's just got like a cool, like a more like edgy vibe to Pokemon games. Yeah, they're cool. Again, the battles are just slow because like the animations are so.
Which game did you show me a video of that had better battling graphics than Gen 9?
I might have shown you. There's XD Coliseum, or it could have been Battle Royale.
I don't think it was Battle Revolution. No, it was the old ones. Because then you started
It's probably
playing.
Coliseum.
Then you started playing one of them, and you were
Oh, it
streaming
was
it to me.
XD then. I was playing XD.
You're playing XD. Okay, that might
Yeah,
have been it then. But yeah, you were telling me about how much better the graphics look, and I was like, oh wow, because that's not a game I've ever played.
yeah, they're good games. They're both like an 8 or an 8.5. I
Which one's better? Would you say?
think Coliseum is better,
But is it close?
but I also haven't beaten XD since I was younger,
Oh,
so I don't remember. I kept getting lost in XD and then stopping like three quarters of the way through the game and then restarting.
hey, at least you're
So I'll say
consistent.
Coliseum. I'll say Coliseum.
Nice, fair. And just like
Yeah.
that, we ranked every. Is that every mainline game? Oh wait, no.
Yes.
We can't forget about Pokemon Bank,
I had a lot of guys in there. Cool game. 10 out of 10.
and then we got Pokemon Home.
Shitty. 1 out of 10.
Okay, that's all we got for you folks. We'll see you next week.
Good night.